Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I would like to welcome you back to the second segment of our episode on eating and bathroom etiquettes in Islam with the IOU Insights program. And I am your host, Dr. Bilal Philips, founder and chancellor of the Islamic Online University. In our previous segment, we were looking at the basic eating habits which Islam establishes, that of eating with one's right hand after saying Bismillah, and eating from what is in front of oneself, not going, because normally, we said the norm for eating, the Islamic etiquette of eating, is that we eat from one dish, one plate. That is our norm. Many of us, convert Muslims coming from Western tradition, or even born Muslims who have been colonized, the colonial traditions, where in Europe, etc., they used to eat on separate plates. So everybody has his own thing. It's a part of their individualistic look at life. It's not communal. The Islamic look or view is a communal view. We share together. We eat together, So, from the Islamic perspective, it is better that we eat from one larger plate, number of larger plates, say, for our group, and that we eat, as our habit, we eat from what is in front of ourselves. Being a good neighbor, a good believer, friend, if we see nice portions of the meal which are not accessible to our neighbor, then we get for them, because it's in front of us, we get and we pass it on to them. So this builds the brotherhood. You feel that concern when your brother reaches a nice part of the meal and gives it to you. So this is all of it is to build that communal spirit, the brotherhood, as Allah said, إِنَّمَا الْمُؤْمِنُونَ إِخْوَةٌ. The believers are one brotherhood. So this is what is reflected even in our meals. And as we said, that we don't eat or drink with the left hand. This is a basic principle. It is haram. It's not a question of, it's not good to, disliked. No. We spoke before about the different categories in Islamic law, how things are categorized. Eating with the left hand is categorized as haram, meaning it is a sin. This also shows that Islam is comprehensive. Its principles are not restricted to what we traditionally consider to be worship. Because the idea, for example, in Christianity, that the priest would come and tell you it is haram for you to eat with, forbidden for you to eat with your left hand, this is just unthinkable. Or he can tell you what to worship in your communion, what to say, how to eat it, whatever, drink the wine, whatever. He can tell you these things because this is worship. But now for him to come into your life and tell you, for example, when you put on your shoes, put on the right foot first. You say, what is he telling me this? Whereas in Islam, that is all there. Every single thing that we do is governed by Islamic principles and law, based on the way of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Right? He left the way for us and he guided us in all aspects of life. So eating being an important aspect, we said that he told us not to eat with the left. Now, if you're eating with a knife and fork, Western tradition, is it haram? No. For Muslims to eat with a knife and fork, it's okay. You can eat with knife and fork. Western tradition, again, is that you hold the knife in the right hand and the fork in the left. So you will cut up the food, the meat, whatever, then you stick the fork, and then you're eating with the left hand. So it means that if you're going to eat with a knife and fork, which is permissible, you have to change from the norm. Either you switch over, cut with your right, and use the fork cut with your left, use the fork in your right hand. So when the time comes, after you've cut up everything, you take. Or if you find now you're clumsy with the right, you're used to cutting with the right and try to put it in the left, it's difficult for you. So what you do is, okay, you start off with right and left, you cut up everything you want to eat, put down the knife, and then just use your fork, pick up and eat. Right? So this way you ensure that the hand that you're using to put the food in your mouth is your right hand. So you're still eating with your right. And when we're drinking, if we're eating food which is hot, like soup, the Prophet ﷺ said we should not blow on it. Right? You shouldn't blow on it. Even the drink, you're drinking some tea or coffee. Don't, because you put it up, it's hot. So don't. He said don't do that. Right? Of course, that is related to the fact that commonly, again, people would drink from a common vessel. The idea of sharing a cup now is something you will find kind of strange, right? But again, Islamic tradition, we had one drinking vessel, maybe 2 or 3 people would take and share it, pass it on. People would, no problem. Today we're thinking, oh, his mouth was on there. I don't feel comfortable to drink from the same container because his mouth went on there. No. This is not the way. But blowing in there, no. Right? You drink from your spot, you pass it on. But to blow, no. Blowing over the food, no. Basically what this is doing is making sure better you leave it, let it cool down. Meaning it's really too hot for you. Let it cool down. Rather than trying to drink it whilst it's so hot, so like this. You spoon before no. Just take it easy. We eat calmly. We don't rush and, no. Everything should be done in a deliberate and calm way. This is what Islam encourages. Just as the Prophet ﷺ had said, go to Salah calmly and respectfully. Whatever you catch of the prayer, pray it. Whatever you miss, repeat. Do over. So it means that at no time should you find yourself running to catch they said, Allahu Akbar, it's going to ruku'. Oh, you want to catch this? So you're running into the masjid. No. This is not the way. This is un-Islamic. Prophet ﷺ forbade it. Running to the masjid. Why? Because you join the line, Allahu Akbar, you run. You can't even think after that. You're just breathing. Your whole salah is messed up. What you're going to do after that is all messed up. Right? So it's better you just take your time, you get there reasonably, and you make up what you miss. This is the way, proper way. So in eating, same thing. We eat in a moderate way. And also, Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, there are foods that he didn't like. So sometimes you may receive food, you don't particularly care for it, then you leave it. You don't complain about it. Right? This was as the Prophet ﷺ has described, he never used to complain about food. But if he didn't like it, he just didn't eat it. He'd go and eat whatever else. So this is the preferable way. You don't hurt anybody's feelings in that way. But as Muslims, again, we also should be conscious of the types of food that we eat. Whether you choose to eat a lot of candies, fast foods, right? Genetically modified foods, all these different things. As a Muslim, we should be conscious about what we put in our bodies, because our bodies have a right over us. Prophet ﷺ said that. The body has a right. One of its rights is that it gets enough sleep. Not too much sleep, but gets enough sleep. Similarly, the food that we put in, as they say, you are what you eat. You are what you eat. So, you eat good food, then you will be in good health, etc. You eat bad food, then you will be sickly. You will suffer. Later on, maybe when you're young, in the early stages, you're just popping in the candy bars and, Snicker bars and everything else, Coke and drinking. It doesn't seem, everything seems to be okay. But later on, this catches up with you. So drinks like Coke, 7-Up, these type of drinks, actually, Islamically, they're not good. We shouldn't take them. If we do, okay, small amounts, occasion, not the standard where every day we've got to have a Coke. Why? Because they have shown, nutritionists have shown, that in 1 can of Coke, there are 12 teaspoons full of white sugar. The worst kind of sugar. White sugar. 12 teaspoonfuls in each can. This is harmful. Way above the levels that the body can handle. Definitely harmful. Destructive. So we have to be careful. Better we eat, drink juices, which are natural juices, no additives, these type of things. We should be, people say, you're overly concerned, you're looking at every box you're going to drink, what the contents are. No, you should be. You should be. Because your body has a right over you. That what you put in it should be the best that you are able. Of course, you could say your economic status might not allow you to have certain types of food that people who are wealthier, they can buy specially organic food, and they're able to take things to another level. But at least you can minimize the harm by avoiding the most obviously harmful forms of food. Among the things that we take into our body, foods, we have haram foods. Haram products that we can take into our body. Among them is tobacco. Smoking in Islam is haram. Without a doubt. I know some of you might have heard it is makruh, disliked. Well, when Muslims were unaware of the consequence of tobacco, the scholars ruled that it was makruh, disliked, because it produced bad breath, and I explained this before in one of our earlier sessions, that the bad breath, anything which produces bad breath, is considered to be makruh. As Prophet ﷺ had said, whoever eats raw onions and garlic should not come to our mosques. Stay at home. So we are denied the additional benefits and blessings of praying in the masjid. So that which denies us that is makruh, disliked. So that is among the forbidden foods. It was earlier thought to be makruh, but when we found out that smoking causes cancer, and cancer causes death, then the ruling changed to haram. Smoking is haram. So similarly, all other foods that we know to be harmful, we, as part of Islamic eating etiquette, to be conscious of what we're eating and ensure that what we're eating and drinking are healthy foods.